Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for coming.
Happy New Year.
First item on the agenda is the swearing-in ceremony.
I'd like to introduce everyone to Officer Michael Mastropetre, who started his first day at work here yesterday, and you've met prior. Yeah, Mike, I'd like to congratulate you on this new facet of your career. As you embark on your journey with us, you bring, in addition to your outstanding personal attributes and personal character, just a wealth of experience and law enforcement expertise and resources, and we're happy to have you aboard. On behalf of the board, I wish you many years of health, happiness, and success with us and safety.
Thank you.
And with that, I'd ask Chairman Burke to officially swear you in.
Where would you like this?
By the podium.
I, Michael Mastropetre,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support and comply with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Connecticut,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Connecticut,
the Charter, laws, and ordinances of the Town of Woodbridge,
the charters, laws, for the town of Woodbridge,
the rules and regulations of the Woodbridge Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Woodbridge Police Department,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as police officer to the best of my ability.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very fortunate to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Mike, could I just get a picture? Did you get a handshake with just the chief there? Oh, you can stay in there.
Yeah.
Right. Just wanted to get one. Frank, look at this one.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mike.
Woodbridge.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So Chief,
Yep.
are we up to full level now, or are we still short?
We still have one vacancy.
One vacancy.
Hopefully we'll take care of this evening.
What did you say?
We'll be addressing that later on.
So, we have 24 officers? 24?
February pen, is it? Blue?
Black,
24 right now.
Does it make a difference, blue or
No.
purple?
Full staff right now.
just not purple or anything.
The next item on the agenda is the executive session. Actually, I was thinking maybe we'll do this out of order because we have other people here. So we'll do it at the end.
Do it again.
Next item is the approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Unanimous. Next item on the agenda is public comments and correspondence. Is there any correspondence?
There's not.
Is there any member of the public that wishes to speak at the meeting? Moving on to the review of reports, financial report.
Financial report, we're halfway through the fiscal year, and we're right on target at 49% of the overall budget used thus far this year. Some of the lines, if you have any questions on them that you might want to look at, that are somewhat over at this point, police officer overtime. Yes, one of them. The big one is the ISU overtime. As you see, it's at 119.3%. And with that said, as we've addressed before, it's a critical service moving forward. Moving forward, the homicide investigation has been a very busy few weeks and active with that. A lot of significant developments in the last few days, in the last few weeks, and more anticipated for the near future.
Any questions?
Can we accept the report?
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Activity report, Frank?
That's it for the finance report.
Yes,
The
sir.
activity report, the deputy chief will.
Okay.
Overall activity,
Looking at the officers' activity, you know, you try to come up with, you know, some of the dynamics that cause it to be either lower or higher. And then I discussed it with the chief, and we actually seem to be doing pretty well, even though the month of December was, you know, it was you know, the holiday month. You have a tendency to, you know, give out a little less tickets, but in this case, not really. It's just that I looked at, we have one of our officers that just left, Kevin Prentice. He was very high on activity. You take his, you know, 20 to 30 pinches a month away from the overall activity, and it brings it up to just about normal. And a lot of the other, you know, newer officers are really stepping to the plate, and their activity actually is up. We had the cooker ticket, which usually generates probably more activity than the DWI patrols. So looking at both of those factors as well. So any questions about the overall activity of the officers themselves? No. We were fortunate and very lucky, knock on wood. No burglaries during the month of December, which is somewhat unusual. We had one criminal mischief on Johnson Road. It was a vandalism to a light bulb. We had 3 drug complaints and drug-related incidences. One down on Manila Avenue where they investigated a package of pills sent in the mail. We had a minor arrest over at the high school regarding less than 1 ounce of marijuana. And then as a result of a motor vehicle stop, we had an arrest warrant done on possession of narcotics. DWIs, I have 3 recorded during the month, 2 associated with motor vehicle stops. We actually have the officer here tonight that was involved in those two motor vehicle stops, Officer Capazzo, and really, I was talking to him earlier, what a nice job he did. I mean, the 2 motor vehicle stops were 2 solid arrests associated with the person or the people that, you know, that he arrested. One of the drivers, he blew a .137 in his first test and a .143 in his second, so his actually blood level was going up. The second one that he arrested was .253 and then .241. So these are, I mean, these are really good arrests for DWI. And then there was another arrest with DWI as well as possession of marijuana on a motor vehicle accident. I think you were investigated that as well, right?
Can I ask
So,
what time are these drinking people driving, just so I kind of know? Is there like, is it middle of the night?
well, Leo works the 3 to 11 shift, so I would assume that that's
Yeah.
unless it was an extra duty job.
No, they were all doing this 3 to 11 shift.
Okay.
So he's working pretty hard. Family disputes, we had 2 of those. One resulted in a breach of peace arrest. 5 larcenies. We had one down at the Phillips 66 on the 29th. It was just a theft of some energy drinks. Acorn Hill Road Extension. We had another break-in at the transfer station, but nothing was unknown whether anything was taken or not. Another one on Litchfield Turnpike, Starbucks. They have, at 2 different times, they had somebody go in there and they're taking money out of the tips container that's on the counter. And motor vehicle accidents, we had 4 injuries and 28 without injuries, 32 total.
Might be.
Which is, I mean, we had, other though, it might sound like there was a lot going on during the month, it was actually a pretty quiet month for December. And that's the activity report. Any questions?
Just quickly to follow up on what you said about the DUI arrest, Officer Capazzo, just so you could recognize that was the officer that you might recall several months ago went away through the highway safety program out to Arizona, and he became one of the certified drug recognition experts in the state, and so that really complements his efforts in DUI enforcement, and so definitely not going unnoticed. Nice job with all those. 5 in a month is a lot, especially for a small community like ours.
I have a question for the officer. When something like this extra training leads to so many more, arrests and things that you can do you pass tips on to your fellow officers?
Yeah.
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 So there's some in-service trainings that go on and stuff?
Yeah, and then they also reach out to him too when they're working. So.
Great.
Is there a motion to approve the activity report?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous? Yes, unanimous. Chief, your report?
The first item I had on there was a request for a building renovation committee. During our recent capital budget presentation last month, and we also mentioned at the meeting, at our previous meeting, we once again, our capital budget project was the request for renovations to the facility here. We're the only department in town that's operating 24/7, 365 days a year, and we could continue to patiently wait by and stand by and watch as renovations are getting done all around us, and we're hoping that with the anticipated sale of the Country Club of Woodbridge property, and the town moves forward with that, that'll assist us in moving forward with seeing some action taking on our facility here. As you recall, it was back in 2009 when we had the space needs assessment done, and back then they recommended enlarging and renovations, and that was 10 years ago now, and pretty much absolutely nothing's been done, and we're at the point now that we've more than run out of space. Things are breaking. You see how the floor is looking here and all. The dispatch area is, it's just deplorable, and those are the things that we want to
Do you have a punch list written up?
we do have
Stuff that's has to be done immediately, things that you can
We could definitely come up
advertise
with
over
that.
the next year or two or whatever it is. I mean, do you have an actual
Yeah,
punch
so
list
that's what I'd
something
like
that
if we could.
you just can't function without?
Right, but that's what we'd like to do. We'd like to, if we could address it that way for short-term fixes and goals and a long-term projects. So I would ask maybe that if we could put some kind of a committee together that could evaluate those and also work with the town fathers to see if we can get some of those addressed and done and funded.
I didn't mean to chuckle when you said the golf club was getting sold, unless you know something that I don't, or somebody
Well,
else.
I think they're.
But I know they're trying to,
they're
but
trying to move forward.
I
to do
wouldn't
something.
base I'm just saying, I wouldn't base your needs on whether the town's gonna sell the country club or not. I think your needs are your needs, and if you have things that you just, like you mentioned, the dispatch area and certain things that are just falling apart that you just can't function without, I think you need to let Chairman Burke know, and if there's something that has to be done immediately that needs to be done, I think you're probably going to have the support of the board in the short term, because I mean there's certain things that have to be done just to keep the building open, right? I mean, and usable, right? I mean, you have to function, you don't have a choice,
No,
right?
that's fine. No.
Do you want
So
to
I think
start?
if there's items that are imperative to the operations, then I think you gotta let us know.
It sounds like you have an interest in being on this committee.
He's going to chair
This
us.
is like the
Do I
military.
get paid the same as I get for being on this commission?
Do you want to start that now? Start
Well-
assigning,
We'll start a committee, or we'll come up
Start a
with a list of
committee.
short-term goals.
I think you should come up with a list of short-term goals and.
Well said. Well said.
How's that work? No, I think you should come up with a list of short-term goals, because we've been talking about this forever.
Right.
And I mean, even if they sell the country club next week, which is, what you prefaced everything with, I mean, to get over, anything that happens over there is going to take years to get over the finish line, I think.
Right. No,
So-
no, understood, but we just want to at least.
So, but I'm
get
saying, if you
started
have
and
things
get
that have to be
process back in
done,
place.
one has something to do the other. They're
right, I hate to tie what we
yeah,
do
why
here
would you
with
tie them
that,
both together?
because
If you have something like, I go to the dispatch, because that just kind of rings, that was something that you said is deplorable to work under. So maybe it is, maybe it's not, I don't know. I've never really gone through it with you. But if there's things that have to be done, then you should let us know that there's things that have to be done, and we should either say, yes, we're gonna do them, and allocate the money, or say, no, we don't think it's that necessary, and not allocate the money, right? I mean,
I think it's generally recognized that the police department's been waiting a very long time for things that the police department needs desperately. And, Board of Finance will work with you to fill your needs as best we can.
Fair enough, that's all we could ask is.
but if there's some things that need to be done short term, like, you need something fixed, or whatever the issue may be, you should put those items together.
Something like that again,
Yeah.
Okay, we will. The next thing I had was an update on the Amity IT status. Back on December 14th, myself and Administrative Officer Tony Genovese met with the IT staff and the Finance Director at the high school for a quarterly review of our shared technology services. And overall, I think, we all realize that the overall goal of this merger with them and the big picture of the sharing resources was for us to move forward in phases here to accomplish what we want to do. But in order to do that, there's a lot of overdue replacements of some key components of our IT system that need to be done. And that's something that came up in the capital budget, one of our first projects, and I'm pretty confident that that's something that's going to be addressed in the very near future. And hopefully once that's done, they'll be able to move forward and take care of the other items that are tied into that need to be repaired. So we understand that, but as we're making this transition, we've run into a few problems and that are giving us difficulty here at the PD. The thought of it was when we first were going to switch over, that as soon as we switched over, that sharing of resources, once the MD came on board, was going to take our IT sergeant kind of really out of the loop, or a good portion of his responsibilities and time out of the loop, and free him up. So with that, we took him off days and we put him back on evenings with our adjustment that we were doing administratively. And he also took on a significant task of taking on training burden, which was a full-time job before for someone.
The Police Commission met last night, January 8th. They swore in an additional officer, Michael Mastropetre. So there's one more to go, and they are in the process of having complete numbers in regards to their staffing. In regards to the financial report, halfway, they're on target, and they look forward to, again, repeating what they did last year of meeting their budget guidelines. The activity report's on par with previous year. The report of the Chief of Police, he reiterated to the Commission that, remember that their agency is a 24/7, 365 agency, and so that has to be taken into consideration with any of their requests. Their program and updating their IT with Amity continues to be enhanced, and the Amity Memorandum of Understanding in regards to the resource officer is continued to be reviewed, and any difference they will make according adjustments. The dispatch update, the technical part of it, is a work in progress. There is a officer on family medical leave, and they expect that him to come back to work within 6 to 8 weeks. The Commission approved the operating budget unanimously. There was some concern expressed on the overtime issue, but the Chief said they will continue to work on that because there are unknown situations that occur, like last year, and which they have no way to plan for. And that concluded the meeting of the Police Commission.